Hey everybody, Greg Barron. Thanks for joining me today, Professor of Real Estate. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 things that I would tell my 30-year-old self. I'm going to start off with the first one, which is investing in yourself. My journey has been long. I'm approaching my 65th birthday the next time. Wow, that seems really old. And as I look back on my journey, I think about, do I regret any of the education that I have or the time that I spent investing in myself? Not at all. I didn't even get my first degree until I was 25. I was married and had a kid. I could only afford so much, so I went back to school, paid for it when I could, got a management degree, got into business when I was 27, went back to school at night, had a couple of kids, didn't graduate with a finance degree till I was 31. Fast forward all the way to the 40s and 50s, and then I went back. I did some graduate work at a nice college in Boston that not very popular right now. Then off to London and did some corporate finance. So my journey has always been one of investing in education. I felt that I wanted to make myself uncomfortable. I wanted to learn things that were important to my industry or something that I didn't know anything about that I thought would be effective in my business. But I can tell you, for the last 37 years, that one of the tenets of my life has been make my education and my investment in my life constant. It doesn't have to be college. There's a tremendous amount of executive education out there that is very fulfilling, is very specific. I know there's a lot of finance for non-finance majors, accounting for non-accounting, digital strategy, marketing, all those things in business. There are some very focused educational programs that you could be involved with. But I would tell my 30-year-old self, make sure that I continue to invest in myself. The next thing I would say is number two is make sure you're a part of a mastermind network and make sure you have mentors in your life. One of the sayings that I have is your net worth is influenced directly by your network. Make it your constant striving in life, starting at a very early age, to surround yourself with thinkers, with movers, with disruptors, people in your life that will increase your network, and follow up with them. Send them a written card, send them a book. Constantly try to stay in front of them because you never know when you're going to draw from them. Right now, as I sit here, I have a network that is literally global. I stay on the phone, I'm on WhatsApp. We're constantly investing in each other's lives. Sometimes we don't monetize it. A lot of times you're just great friendships, which leads me into the next component of number two is make sure you have some top-down mentors in your life throughout your journey. I know it's invaluable the people that I've called on that have a top-down view, been there, done that, struggled through, been through a few recessions, battered, bruised. I will contact them on so many situations. Some are personal, some are very specific business wise. I know last week I called 2 people just to bounce some ideas off of them. So keep mentors in your life. Try to find a mastermind group where people can keep you accountable. Number three is learn the difference between income and wealth very early. There are a lot of people that make a ton of money, but they have no net worth whatsoever. I've had a lot of partners in the past that I've seen financial statements on. It's amazing how much income they make and how very little bit of net worth they have. That means, frankly, you've got to spend less than you make. And the difference is you invest a difference for passive income. The other thing is you have to understand how money works. Keep listening to this channel. We'll continue to teach you how to build wealth and not necessarily just income and how to protect it. Number four is learn the value of resilience and adaptability in your life. One of the things that I did recently is I wrote a book called The 7 Skills to Develop Resilience in Setbacks, Crisis, and Chaos. It has a lot of different anecdotes in it, but I study people's lives and what makes some people more resilient than others. One of my favorite quotes in the book that I use is by C.S. Lewis. He says, hardships prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destiny. It's I love that quote. I also tell the story of Byron Nelson, one of the greatest golfers of all times. You know, this guy was on a foggy road in Van Horn, Texas, and was hit by a Greyhound bus on the driver's side. He's in the hospital for months. He almost loses his leg. He spends another year in rehab and comes back later in pain and wins multiple tournaments and goes on to become probably one of the most celebrated golfers of all time. Cool story. One of the things that I do know is the most resilient people pivot. They become adaptable to change. No matter what's thrown at them, they don't give up. Failure is not final unless you quit. And these guys don't quit, they just pivot. Some of them have lost everything that they've had, both physically and monetarily, but they bounce back. So learn to be adaptable, pivot, and learn the concept of resilience. The fifth thing is early on, create healthy habits. And for me, that's spiritual, mental, and that's physical. To this day, I still try to stay disciplined. For example, in exercise, sometimes with my travels, I can't exercise the way that I'd really like to, but I do something. I'll do it in the hotel room, I'll go down to the gym, I'll do whatever it takes. But create those habits, make them constant, and develop triggers in you for making it happen. For me, and this is kind of interesting, for exercising, I know when I get out of bed in the mornings and I finally tie my tennis shoes, that's my trigger that I'm fully committed. So I try to get my shoes on as quickly as I can before I put my head back on the pillow and go back to sleep. But create healthy habits early on. Those are the five things that I would tell you that if I was 30 years old again, those are the five things that I would anchor into. Thanks for joining me today. Remember to like and subscribe if you appreciate the channel, and always educate, evaluate, so that you can ultimately execute to create your personal wealth. See you soon.